Shawn Hackett is the president of Hackett Financial Advisors. He founded the commodity brokerage in 2007, and Shawn joins us now from Boynton Beach in Florida. Welcome to CCTV-America. Let me first start by asking you, what are the differences in the different coffee prices? Walk us through.
Well, I mean, you have Arabica prices and you have Robusta prices. Arabica prices in 2010-11 surged to record highs in relation to Robusta prices because of the shortage that existed back then. And then we kind of had a role reversal where the oversupply of Arabica was met by a undersupply or a deficit in Robusta prices. And so Robusta prices last year traded at a record high in relation to Arabica. And so now we're getting the flip once again, where we're starting to get weather problems. We're starting to get production coming down due to lack of economic prices. And so now we're starting to see Arabica prices gain against Robusta again. And so this ebb and flow between Robusta and Arabica is not unusual. But right now, the problem and what's really driving the coffee market is the Arabica market. And I do expect that will be the driver for the better part of this year.
That said, how much further can prices go up? They're already up nearly 30%.
Well, if we look at the deficit that's likely to be generated in Brazil, right now I believe the crop production is likely to come in under 50 million bags. Originally it was expected to be 60 million bags plus. With that in mind, we're probably looking at about a 5 million bag deficit for Brazil based upon production in Brazil and the demand for that coffee. That would then draw down the 7.5 million bags of ending stocks that they have down to the levels seen back in 2010 and 11. So I believe we're entering a very similar supply situation to what we saw then. The only difference is between today and then was that the Brazilian real has weakened dramatically since 2011. So when we look at the same prism through the Brazilian real's currency, a $2 price would be fairly equivalent in Brazilian dollars as it was back in 2011. So that's why I believe strongly that given a similar tightness in the marketplace, $2 is a pretty good target to be shooting for. Of course, unless the Brazilian real were to strengthen for some reason, but at this time, that does not look like it's a likely scenario.
So you've got the drought, you've got the currency issue, both of those affecting the ultimate coffee prices. Now, help us as the consumer. For a lot of folks who are watching, we help support the coffee prices by drinking a lot of coffee. How might they be impacted?
You have to remember, there's going to be like a delayed reaction to all of this because a lot of cheap coffee has been bought over the last 6 months. It takes time to roast it, to process it, to bag it. So there won't be an immediate impact at the supermarket level. I would expect to see prices start to go up at the supermarket level over the summertime and really start to go up over the fall of 2014. When you look at the historical relationship between futures prices and supermarket prices, there tends to be about a 50% move in retail prices based upon futures prices, meaning the roaster never will raise the prices completely because to do so they would lose business, lose market share, lose customers, but they do want to preserve margins to some extent. Many of these companies are publicly traded and having shareholders that want to see good earnings.
I guess it's tough to predict because you've got the weather, which is unpredictable, and then you have this currency situation, which is also very difficult to predict. And I guess the question for a lot of investors who are watching this is this a short-term spike in prices, or is it going to last for a couple of years?
I believe it's going to last for a couple of years, and it really has nothing to do with the drought. When we went into this drought, we were already looking at a crop that was coming under pressure because of lack of inputs using fertilizer. There was heavy, aggressive pruning in Brazil. This is a way for farmers to save money when prices are uneconomical. And also we had two very, very large output years the last 2 years. And what happens with coffee trees is when they expend a lot of energy, they then have to rest. And the rest period tends to last a couple of years before trees regain the energy, regain their strength to go produce a big crop again. Also, heavy pruning, which the farmers have done down there, also takes a couple of years for the trees to rebound. And so I guess what I'm getting at is I do not believe that this weather event is a short-term spike. I think we're going to see high prices for several years before we can expect supply to play catch-up with demand.
All right, Shawn Hackett, Hackett Financial Advisors. We have learned a lot about coffee thanks to you.